What's this? I had a TikTok live debate against a feminist one. All right, so this is kind of nice because I like Poor Man's podcast, and I've not actually seen him in, not that I'm aware of, in a setting where he's actually debating other people. It's mostly like videos and stuff like that, which are very valuable. I find value in them alone. But it's interesting now to see. When I saw it on the homepage, I was like, yeah, this one I need to check out on the stream. So yeah, let's check it out.
That I built with my own two hands and only used people to help lift the walls. Every single thing else was done.
What is a man? How do you define manliness? Okay.
I myself.
Did
Poor
men lift
man
the
here.
walls?
You say what?
Did men lift the walls?
Wait, hang on.
They muted him.
Don't do that. The poor man's, because I already know.
That's the things that I can do. All they can do is bring me a glass of water and ask me, am I
Still
all right?
muted him.
Oh my
Why
God.
they muted him?
Yo, what's going on,
He's
bro?
laughing.
What is a man?
A
By
man
the way,
is.
I'm gonna call you poor, and I don't want you to be mad about it.
Oh no.
Yeah,
I'm broke. I wouldn't be mad about
You
that.
give your age and
That's just a shortcut, isn't it? Yeah. Little nickname, Paul. Or what are you gonna call him, man?
pronouns before you contribute.
I'm 29 and I'm a she/her.
Bro, don't do that.
See her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here we go. So what is a man? How do you define manliness?
A man is a adult male, adult human male to be more specific.
No, it's a human. This is where I don't understand. Yeah, that they always getting it wrong. It's such a simple answer. Yeah, if you want to bypass all the bullshit. Yeah. What is a man? They say to you. You say, a human being born with a penis. It's a human being that has been born with a penis. And then what is a woman? It's a human being that has been born with a vagina, with the capability of with reproduction abilities. It's like +1. They got tits and vagina. A human with a tits and vagina. That's why it's simple as that.
So you're describing a male. What's a man? So you're talking about biology. We're talking about sociology. So if we're talking about what makes somebody a man, what is that to you?
Oh, like what makes somebody a man, or specifically what is a man, by definition?
What makes somebody a man? What makes somebody manly? So you described.
Okay, yeah. So this is like a kind of like loaded sort of, not a loaded question, like a I don't know, bruv, like a shitter of a it's like a throwaway. It's like they're trying to get him.
Which is a biological term. We're talking about the sociological term man.
But that's what a man is, an adult human male.
Gotcha. So you view those
that's biological.
I actually find the second question a little bit more interesting than the first one. The first one seems to be a gimme.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of is a gimmick because I get asked what's a woman all the time. So this,
Yeah, well, not kind of gimmick, more of a gotcha.
this was my response. So let's talk about the second one. Go ahead.
I think you define manliness through a man's willingness to strive for masculine virtues.
Which are what?
Protection, specifically.
Do you think protection is a way?
Okay, so just hearing the person go, what's the issue? Isn't that? Wouldn't you agree?
Way. Okay. You know what? Okay. Keep going, the Poor Man's Podcast. Keep going. Cook. I'm gonna let you cook.
Well, I think because men have the men have the monopoly on force.
The what?
Men have the monopoly
Wait,
on.
back up. No, back up. I heard you. What was you about to say?
Men have the monopoly on force.
That's not what you were gonna say.
What was he gonna say? Let's pull it back
On
ourselves.
force.
You cook.
Well, I think
Protection is a way. Okay. You know what? Okay.
What did he say? What was he gonna say? Let's break it down.
Keep going, the Poor Man's Podcast. Keep going. Cook. I'm gonna let you cook.
Well, I think because men have the
Men have the authority. Yeah, is that what that's what the guys hooked up was gonna say? All right, so he was meant to say authority. Men have the authority on.
have the monopoly on force.
So the authority on force, it wouldn't even really make sense. So yeah, he switched up the word at the last second there to monopoly on force, which I would say is accurate. Anyone who's the force giver is most probably going to be a man.
The what?
Men have the monopoly
Wait,
on.
back up. No, back up. I
All
heard
right,
you.
so
What was you about to say?
authority. Okay, this chick here is already annoying me just because she's the only one with a camera and it's just her reactions. It's like it's childish. It's
Men
like
have the
immature.
monopoly on force.
That's not what you were gonna say.
All right, so
Well,
authority.
this is what I'm trying to say. Since men have the monopoly on force, and that kind of grants us with the ability to protect a little bit differently than women. And I think things that we contribute to manliness are things that associate with men becoming.
Yeah, so you see the lady with the camera on her, she just walks away. They won't even listen. This is what I've discovered with these sort of people. They won't even listen. The moment they realize it's not going their way, they just walk away, or they scream, or they might even attack.
More capable of
They're very
pursuing the
immature.
masculine virtue of protection.
Do you think men are inherently protectors?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who
And
are
I-
we? Who do we protect?
We protect society. We protect our families, women, children,
Okay.
and each other, hopefully, our
Who
comrades.
do we
Who do you
protect?
protect them
Who do
from?
we protect them from?
We protect them from the
So again,
harshness of
so I guess this is another gotcha. So where they want him to say men, right? So they want him to say to protect him from other men, which is statistically accurate because, like we defined earlier, or not defined as he put forth earlier, men have a monopoly on force, right? So if men have a monopoly on force, what's more likely going to be the threat? For then you're going to require men to defend you from, to protect you from. It's obviously going to be statistically, it's going to be men. It's going to be other men, right? But it seems like it's like a loaded question where they're trying to get him to say men and go, I got ya, huh? Well, then we're not furthering the conversation. We're just here to hinder each other, and then that means then what the fuck are we doing here? Do you know what I'm saying? It's like they're out here just to hinder each other. It's not about progress then. It's ultimately not about progress. Again, we're gonna be witnessing, as I've been saying, we're gonna be witnessing people not listening to each other and people just listening enough to rebuttal. This is the sadness of society that we've witnessed. This is what we're experiencing now. It's like a society that are not listening to each other. That's why it's the way it is, because we're not truly listening to each other. We're listening enough to rebuttal. We're listening just enough to be like, all right, shit, I can get him with this one. You know what I mean? That's actually very sad to be honest. And look, we can see it here.
reality, nature, and other men specifically.
Hang on now, because I'm not talking about hurricanes. Who do we protect? Society, children, women, everybody, family. Who do we protect?
You can't.
It's like a nefarious character. So if you want to be like that, it's like a nefarious character that can be any sex, man or woman. But as I said earlier, we've said the monopoly is men on force, right? So that's most probably going to be the threat.
Just be specific about that and take away hurricanes, because we do protect from hurricanes too, because we protect
The
from
Poor Man's
everything.
Podcast, I just specified I'm not talking about hurricanes. So who meaning, who?
So his meaning which of the two sexes, right? So he's saying who's most probably going. It's obviously men, sir. And then what would he do if he says men? Got ya. No, we have furthered nothing then. We've gone nowhere.
Do we protect people from?
People who try to
Nefarious.
intrude on the sovereignty of the people we love.
That's a great way to put it, though.
We're getting closer. Who are those people?
They could be nefarious people. They could be what we call evil people, dark people, people that lack empathy. The traits of a psychopath, the traits of a unhinged human being. They can come in all varieties, male or female. But statistically, I would say it's men. It'll be male, the threat. If I imagine someone attacking me, or if I imagine someone breaking in, I don't imagine it being a woman or a group of women. I imagine it being a man or a group of men. that isn't to say, oh, well, there you go, the main problem of society is men. No, you've missed the whole point here. We're not furthering anything. You're just out here to get him then. That's literally what it is. And then that doesn't interest me, unfortunately, because I'm all about progress and trying to get somewhere. I'm on a journey, right? If you're going to stay stagnant and just be talking in circles in your beautiful echo chamber, you can do that, but not for me. Then I have to leave.
If you want me to just say man or woman, men, because I understand this this direction too, and we can go down this road too.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Okay, cool.
So let me.
Yeah, this Bohemia, whatever, is one hell of a character, isn't she?
Let me ask you this question.
But specifically, though, I'm sorry. Let me be a little bit.
She's hardly even spoken. I can just tell, insufferable sort of feelings.
Bit more specific. Bad men we consider to intrude on the sovereignty.
So bad men. She looked at the screen again. So what does that infer to us as viewers? For me, what I got from that is all men are bad. And I'm just analysing just this woman here, just on her reactions. You can get a lot from the way a person reacts, to see their level of maturity and to see where they're at in their life, level-wise, in perception.
People we love.
Right, but you said that it's inherently.
But you said men are. Men are inherently protectors. Smart. There can't be bad men.
Yeah, but I'm talking about. Well, I'm saying manly. No.
Oh, wait. So they can't be bad men because men are inherently protectors. You see how they're doing it? Do you see? It's very childish.
There definitely can be bad men because there are some guys, we wouldn't consider it manly for a man to trample on the weak. That's not manly. If we're talking about manliness, I'm talking about pursuing the masculine virtues of protection.
Hang on, men are rewarded. Men are rewarded for trampling on the weak all the time.
Yeah, they may be rewarded physically, but you wouldn't call that manly.
Yeah.
We wouldn't associate that with manly.
Men do. Agree.
If a UFC.
Yeah. So then the issue lies with you in your perception, right? If you view that as manly, a man trampling the weak, as all men, I would say, men with integrity and honor, will not see that as manly. You'll see that as you're a bitch. You've crushed the weak. That's a way of a bitch. That is not a manly trait. However, if you are an individual that is viewing that action and seeing that as manly, the issue lies with you in your perception, in my opinion. You need to go and, have a little look at yourself. Why do you view it that way? Why do you think it's manly for men to trample the weak? Do you understand what I'm saying? So you could really, if they're going to play the got you game, it's free. That game's free. We can all play that game.
See, if a UFC fighter goes and punches a kid, you wouldn't call that manly. If a UFC fighter goes and punches a guy who's also a UFC fighter, you call that manly. And it's really just because it's a... Well, I'm just saying it's because it's a signal towards the ability to protect better.
No, it's a signal towards violence.
Yeah, and since men have the monopoly on violence, we have to be capable of being violent towards those who try to intrude on the sovereignty of the people we love.
Yeah.
So the Poor Man's Podcast, you see how many times you've mentioned violence and harm in your definition of manliness, right?
Yeah, because we're also not only defining manliness, we're also getting into protection. And then when you get into protection, then you have to be like, so what are we protecting against? As you put forth, as they put forth, right? So obviously we're talking about that, which is inherently violent in its nature. That's usually what a threat is. An action that requires protection is usually violent in nature, I would say. So yeah, that would be the answer to that. But you see how they're trying to spin it again. They're trying to say, okay, it's men equals violence equals bad. Sort of. It's really a really messed up way to view things.
Yeah.
It's toxic.
It's a requirement to be able to fight and harm others and protect others from people causing harm and being violent.
Yeah. That's a
true?
Yeah, and that's a masculine virtue. Yes, not only other people though, but also animals too. Since animals are capable of violence, men have to be capable.
I'm talking about people.
Okay, we started with masculinity and manliness, and that attributes to the virtues of protection, and the protection is more widespread. But if you want to just only specifically talk about other men who try to intrude on the sovereignty of the ones you love, we can only talk about those men too. But there are other things that we use our violence to protect from.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I'm
how are
not
you
talking
gonna
about.
fight like a lion? How are you gonna fight like a lion if it comes?
Well,
to-
historically speaking, men gathered
lion.
men gathered in groups and threw rocks at them.
Sure.
Okay, hang on.
Yeah.
No, let's not go down the because first, no, we're not gonna do.
Yeah, it's because they're beginning to see. So no. Let's not go down the path of beginning to understand. No, block that. We got to get him. Quickly do a U-turn. We got to get him. No, we're not gonna. We haven't got him yet. It's really fucked up, man. That's what I'm getting from it.
That.
Well, she just asked the question. I answered it. That's how you deal with a lion.
I know, but it's objectively ridiculous.
Hey, I'm the host, and I wanted to know. Because he says he's fighting animals. But okay, Tom, go ahead.
No, men historically, darling. It's not. It's see, this is where they're getting confused. They're thinking it's him personally. We have no need right now, in the position of privilege, from where we sit. We have no need to be fighting lions. We have machine guns. We have like grenades and shit and handguns and all of that. It's cool. Historically speaking, darling, it wasn't the women gathering together to take out a lion, for example. I would say it was the men and the young boys. The young men, I would say. The human with the variety of the penis, if you like. I would wager it was them that were killing the lions in the days where they had to defend against lions attacking the village, for example. But now we live in cities. I would wager you're probably sitting at your desk at a computer, right? Well, you have no need to be fighting a lion. So what sort of weird fucking angle are you coming at? Like, Poor Man's Podcast himself, he's fighting lions, and she's interested in finding out, how did you fight a lion? You personally. You are a really deluded human being. You're really sick sort of human. You need to get outside, touch grass, talk with people.
Yeah, but there's subtext to the nature thing where people try to apply that, and I don't like letting that.
It's because it's a got you to you, right?
I just wanted to see what he was going to say, but go ahead.
It's strange.
Well, Tomo, I think the issue here is that violence is an underlying principle of nature, and I think probably because people have to,
Okay, so they muted him, and I wasn't allowed to finish. All right, cool. So wait, so that warrants that reaction. Would you not say that violence is in nature? Wouldn't you say violence is inherently in nature, in fact? You can view the animal kingdom and you can view the humans. Yeah. Undoubtedly violent. Look at the human history. Look at the animal kingdom. Violence, my brother. It will be absolutely delusional and a disservice to yourself to completely view it not like that. To be like, nah, it's not. They're all loving. I wish it was that way. Believe me, I wish it was that way. It's not. It is violent out there. It's a cold world out there. You can see it. That's the human issue. We're working on it. We're working on this. But it is natural. It'll be, it is inherent there. Violence has always been a thing. You'll be doing yourself a disservice to deny that.
In general.
That right there,
They just muted him, you see. So, you see what I'm saying? I don't, it's like, yeah, this ain't progressing, nothing.
Is why I don't like
he just muted me again, chat. That's why I couldn't finish.
When we
what did he say?
He said violence is something quality of nature. It's like natural. Violence is.
It's inherent, my brother.
Natural, and therefore we need to.
Well, look at ants. She hates appeals to nature, but she's the one who brought up lions. It's like it's so fucking weird, man. They bring things forward and then they get cornered with their own thing, and then they backtrack on that and make that the subject. It's so really, really strange. Again, I pity the fool. I really do. I really pity the fool, because ultimately this is a disservice to themselves. It does not affect me. It doesn't affect Poor Man's Podcast. It doesn't affect any of us. It's such a pity to see a person essentially do that to themselves. It's like, wow, what a shame. and then you just go anyway, and you move on. It's nothing really. It's just what a pity, what a thing to. It's not nice to see a person. You know, I don't like seeing a person down and feeling sad, and you just go poor fucker. But ultimately, the person's got to be able to change their mind, and they help themselves. You can't help. Save your breath and run. Ultimately, is what I would say. Just go. You can try and give bits of words of advice. You would straight away see the sort of person by the reactions, and then you just go pity the fool, and you just keep it moving. You know what I mean?
What I was saying here is that violence is an underlying principle of nature, probably because not only humans but things have to eat, and in order to eat something, you have to be more capable of violence and aggression than that thing. Not only that, but also in order to have resources which are finite, humans and things have to be capable of violence and aggression in order to get those things and also to protect those things. That was the point that I was trying to make. But they muted me.
Nah, it's understandable. It's, you know, a fool might even be able to see that. But yeah, I totally get exactly what he meant with that.
So I couldn't finish it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to be able. Yeah, exactly. So that's why I don't want to go down that road, is because then that's how people defend tying in masculinity with violence and the ability to.
Or homophobia.
I just wanted to hear how you
on and on and on.
Well, I'm gonna justify.
Callisto, I know what your point was, but there's a subtext to when dudes, no offense, dudes like this start talking about nature, like what he just said.
Yeah.
Violence is
it's
natural,
crazy.
right? And so what we're doing is we're excusing the fact that men are the people who are being violent. Bo, what were you gonna say?
Oh no, just to finish the thought. Yeah. Oh wait, was I? Oh, okay. It's somebody else. I thought we were just debating. I didn't know.
So, what I need to know from you.
We're going door next.
See, I can straight away tell it's like she comes from a place of authority. You know, she's what she perceives as authority.
Sir.
Okay.
He is.
What I need to know from you
is what.
I have to be very careful here, y'all, because they will mute you and kick you. So you kind of got to play their little.
When we're just kind of like out and about.
Yeah.
You said what protects women when you're out and about?
Who protects us? So if you all are the protectors, who protects us when we're out and about? Like you don't know me from a can of paint, and somebody's trying to harm me.
Yeah.
What you gonna do?
I think it's inherently any human sees any other human in harm. I think there's a inherent thing in you that you want to go defend. I would say more so in a man. I would say it would be more so in a man to have that urge to defend a woman, a child. Yeah, you have an urge to fuck. I gotta go help that woman. That woman's getting mugged. What the fuck? I'm gonna smash that geezer up. That's sort of the first thing that you think.
Protect me.
Well, it just depends on the scenario. It depends on if
you are not a protector, sir. See, that's what
Oh my god. You are not a protector, sir. Fucking hell. You gotta die. You gotta die for them. And then, yeah, alright, you're a protector. What a piece of shit he was. He was a protector though. Fucking hell. Darkness is evident, fathers. Darkness is evident. We can see it.
Well,
you didn't let me finish. You didn't even let me finish my answer.
What you didn't say was I would protect you, because that's what a protector would say. See me, if I see a person, it doesn't matter who it is. If I see a person getting harmed, I am going to do something.
No, it is that you have a duty to protect the sovereignty of the people you love. You don't have to protect everybody, because protection automatically comes with conditions and circumstances. For example, I wouldn't protect a child molester. That would be a condition and circumstance. That doesn't mean that I'm not a protector. It just means that I'm not going to protect that.
Well, obviously, you know, it's a shame that he has to explain something like this. Obviously, you know, it's down to the circumstances. Am I going to run up to a guy who's got a fucking gun and is robbing another guy and it's just me? I'm not going to fucking do that, am I? That's fucking stupid. But inherently, inside me, if I see someone getting robbed, a woman getting robbed, or someone getting robbed, I'm going to have that. I have to try and help them. I'm going to have to try and help them somehow. You know what I mean? But obviously circumstances play a big fucking role in it. You ain't just gonna blindly go in there. Or does that give you the badge of protector? Get out of here, love.
Individual person,
get out of
because
it.
they don't align with me. Again, you have a duty to protect the sovereignty of the people that you love, and if they're outside of that, or you don't see fit to protect those people, it doesn't mean that you're less manly. But if you do go out of your way to protect a person who is weaker in a situation where they need protection, I think that would be associated with manliness and bravery. And this is why traits like bravery, stoicism, and all these different traits are associated with masculinity, because they ultimately contribute to you being able to better protect and provide. This just goes further into my point also, that women will try to shame men for toxic masculinity, but women actually love toxic masculinity.
Yeah, it's really strange. It's a really, really strange thing that I've seen happen. Mr. Karma, how you doing, my brother? I hope you're well. Yeah, it's a really strange thing. They hate on it, but then they really want it. It's so fucking strange. You got to get in your feelings, but the moment you start getting too feelings, like, they don't really want that, do they? It's really fucking strange.
Whatever that word means.
You know,
really, it's just the signs of aggression and violence. Women will try to shame men out of that behavior, but they actually love it, but they only love it when they can weaponize it for the benefit of other women. Like in this example, she's going to point out that she wants me to go to protect some random woman.
Yeah, so, yeah, that's 100, he's 100% spot on with that.
And if I'm not willing to
I'm doing good, my brother, I can't complain.
Man,
we're living good, father, I can't complain. I hope you and the family as well.
Well, it's only because women actually love toxic masculinity, but only when they can weaponize it. If they don't get the benefits of it, they don't like it.
You didn't let me follow up.
The answer was no. The answer was, well, I mean, so, because you were finna qualify. You were about to say, right, it depends.
Yeah, because it does depend, and I was going to...
It obviously depends on the circumstances. Don't be ridiculous now. Don't be silly.
If you are a protector, you are going to protect. It does not depend. See, for me, it doesn't depend. People.
So she's saying she's the real protector here. Cool. That's nice.
No matter who they are, I don't have to know what your background is, how many bodies you got, who you did. As a matter of fact.
Yeah. See, she's hooked up on something. Someone's hurt her. So see, this is the crux of the situation with these people. They're all essentially hurt. There's something in there that something bad happened, and they're lashing out now.
If in fact the man that unalived my child, you hear man, that unalived my child had.
Can we continue the discussion, please? This is not the discussion.
Yeah, it's not the discussion. They're just moving it to like.
Don't interrupt, Bo.
She interrupted me. That's the whole point. That's why we're here. She's not letting me finish.
Hang on. Bo, don't forget your point. Poor Man's Podcast. You are new here, so I'm going to reiterate this. Bo, first off, I don't know if Bo is a mod or not. I can't remember. It don't matter. She is effectively a mod here, as am I. So if I interrupt you, or if Bo interrupts you,
it's allowed.
You're just going to have to deal with it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, see, you see, democracy, this is their democracy. This is their way. So you can shudder. Yeah, you shudder at the thought of a society ruled by a mindset like theirs. It would be terrifying. It would be truly terrifying. You wouldn't have freedom of speech. You wouldn't be able to go nowhere. You wouldn't be able to do nothing. You wouldn't even be able to think a certain way, or you'll get arrested. I shudder at that thought, honestly. That's what I find terrifying. That's the monsters that I'm scared. That's what keeps me up at night. Stuff like that. Fucking imagining a society ruled by these people. Fucking hell. Did you see what they said to him? Oh, we're mods here. We can interrupt you. You're just gonna have to deal with it. It's fine. But you can't do that to us. You understand the mentality. You understand that the level of repercussion that has on the long term. You can just define a whole character with that. I understand you. I know what you're about by saying a simple statement like that. It's so fucking stupid. And ultimately terrifying.
But you cannot interrupt Bo when she is talking.
You're getting cooked in this conversation. This is why you're doing this. Y'all are getting cooked.
Yeah, and then they keep muting him.
You're on strike 2, gang.
Also, so, after Bo's point, I have a question.
Bro said I'm a mod.
Facts.
At least call the police for him, because you know why? He is a.
The police are men. They're men that protect.
Yeah, they keep muting him.
What'd you say?
Also, what I'm saying is that protection and like actually making the world safer for people It goes deeper than just the moments where you get to play the hero.
Okay,
and get up
in society, who holds the role for protection then? It's women?
Oh my gosh.
Everybody holds the role for protection in society? So if there's a man and a woman in a house, traditionally speaking, or just commonly speaking, who's the one that's
This is unorganized, man.
gonna go check if there's a loud noise at the door?
Okay, so what Bo was saying, one of the things she said that was a very good point, is if you are only concerned about protecting your people, men are well, I'm not saying men are selfishly motivated, but Bo said that, and I don't disagree. But what I'm saying is,
yeah, these lot, man, a gang. It's a gang.
If you're only concerned about protecting what you view as yours, like in that situation, and you're not concerned about protecting everybody who needs protection, then you're not a natural protector.
But that was the point that I was making in the beginning. I said you're protecting the sovereignty of the people you love. I love.
Yeah.
Protecting the sovereignty of the people you love. You don't have to.
Yeah, it's not like the protector role is now you must protect everything in existence without question. Where do these fucking human beings live? What the fuck are they smoking?
Protect everybody. You don't have a duty to protect everybody. You have a duty to protect the people.
That's what Bo's point was. That Bo literally said, you are protecting people that are only in direct relation to you.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's just making my point. I said that from the start. It's the sovereignty of the people you love. That's making my point.
Yeah.
That's just an extension of yourself. You happen to have an investment in that person, so you want to make sure they're safe. That doesn't mean you actually care about people being safe.
This is the society that we live in. Grown adults saying verbal violence.
I think that you need to listen more than you talk.
It's so crazy.
Because I don't like.
The reason why I interrupt is because, like, when ladies start talking about this stuff, they go on like 3-minute monologues.
I don't think that age is a factor in a lot of ways. But I do think.
But yeah, what we were getting at, as well as everything Bo said. So verbal violence is its own real violence, but also when we're talking
about
that
such thing as verbal violence. Violence is automatically.
No, violence is.
They just keep muting him, innit they? They keep muting him.
Physical. That's literally the definition. There's no verbal violence.
Not literally the definition. I'm literally a violence prevention educator. There are a lot of different forms of violence, but verbal violence is its own problem, but it also, when we're talking about examples like the one I gave you and most examples of verbal violence, it is directly related to physical violence as well. So if you're not sitting
EBA in there just silently typing away like, who is this guy? He's almost got 1 million subscribers on YouTube. That's who that guy is.
Down
who are you?
Those things at the bottom of the pyramid on the screen there, then you are not helping protect people from the stuff at the top. Okay? That's what I'm saying.
So if you don't have conditions under which you will protect, you are automatically not a protector? Because I would assume that everybody has conditions for what they will protect and what they won't.
Yeah, so there you go. She escaped there. She done a runner, muted herself. That's it. She's done a runner. Cornered. They get runnered. They do a runner.
Won't protect.
You said it's natural manliness to be a protector.
Yes.
So now you're putting conditions all around it?
Yeah, because protection has conditions inherently. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they can't seem to grasp that. They can't seem to understand that. Okay, so this is what the issue is.
Bro, you're describing transaction.
You're
describing a transaction.
No, if there's a man harming a woman, I'm not gonna protect the man because I don't protect men who harm women. That's the condition.
No.
Yeah.
You also don't stop them or interrupt them or call them out.
I think you're breaking up, Tamu. I think you're breaking up a little bit.
Fucking hell. Yeah, no, that's a great video. I would like to see more. I'd like to see more of stuff like that, of him doing stuff like that. It'll be interesting. This was pathetic. You need to be way more aggressive and have better arguments. You were playing into their hands instead of sticking to your grounds. You don't play safe. You defend. Do better. I support you, but improve. Solid comment there. It was a solid one, that. You can't have a logical conversation with someone who asks you your pronouns. The moderator sounds weak as fuck. Yeah, just saying that I'm a moderator and basically my voice trumps your voice in any situation. That's basically what I got from that, and that's an L. Anyway.